So we've seen Nemesis be such a force throughout his many different iterations, whether it be from the classic Resident Evil 3 to his appearances in the other RE titles throughout the years. But with so much speculation and demand for a Resident Evil 3 remake, it was only fitting that we discuss what we want to see from this Tyrant in a possible future release. Anyways, what is up you guys, this is DeVuH, and in this video we're going to be discussing what we want to see from Nemesis in an RE3 remake, where we take notes from the other Tyrants, BOWs, and other monsters in the Resident Evil lore, and try to come up with a perfect version of Nemesis. Anyways, before we get started, please feel free to like and subscribe to my channel for more Resident Evil content in the future. Alright, so let's start off with the base foundation that Nemesis had from the classic Resident Evil 3, being that constant pursuer Tyrant that gave us so much tension during his encounters, with one of his most notable traits is being able to outrun our characters. So working with this premise in mind, if they do make Resident Evil 3 remake, they would have to balance out this aspect with this Tyrant, especially since we don't run at blitzing speed. Also, if we look at the previous main titles that has come out in the RE series, we've seen that in both RE2 remake and RE7 that our characters aren't the most versatile and mobile when dealing with enemies. So trying to adjust this gameplay aspect out will be a key ingredient to retain the constant survival horror factor, but mixing in a good blend of enough action to deal with Nemesis, which leads us to our next point, the dodge mechanic, because in the classic RE3, we saw Jill be able to dodge Nemesis if we time it right, but we can only do this so often until we finally get caught by the Tyrant and instantly killed. So this aspect will be a great addition for an RE3 remake, but we can also add a little twist to this maneuver by possibly having us use items in our surroundings, and try to block off Nemesis while dodging his attacks. Also, this dodge mechanic can be implemented by having our characters jump over rails or balconies to some extent, giving us a chance to escape from the Tyrant. But of course, since we're talking about the perfect version of Nemesis, this aspect of dodging and blocking his attacks will be something he can counter as well, where he can be able to destroy the item that we use and do a devastating blow to our characters if we carelessly use this gameplay. Also, Nemesis has been known to break through the environment, with a great example was when he breaks through the wall at the clock tower area. To the speculation of him breaking through the walls in the second floor of the RPD station in the new Resident Evil 2 remake, so this aspect can be expanded upon, letting him break through doors, climbing up ladders like we saw Mr. X do in RE2 remake, and maybe leaping up high in the air and reach a certain height like this. Also, maybe we can see a variety of attacks instead of the standard Falcon Punch attacks that the Tyrants have shown throughout the years. Maybe having him be able to pin down our characters, or throwing certain objects in our surroundings, showing that he can be very versatile with this approach. Anyways, as we talk more about his attacks, let's not forget his famous use of the rocket launcher, which I'm sure they'll implement if Resident Evil 3 Remake is released, possibly seeing him break portions of the environment as we try to dodge his missiles. Also, maybe having Nemesis use a variety of other weapons, because we've seen him use a minigun in the other RE games before, so who's to say that he can be limited with just a couple of arsenals. Also, I've seen someone comment before that maybe we can have Nemesis set up traps for our characters, and this could have a consequence of alerting him of our location, or causing damage to us. Anyways, talking about being on constant alert, as we saw Mr. X in RE2 Remake, where he's able to find our location based on the gunshots and noises that we make, so I can safely assume that they can try to implement this gameplay aspect in Nemesis as well, as we have Jill traverse throughout their environment, and if we happen to make too much noise, Nemesis will be notified and start running in that general location, while possibly also rummaging through the hiding spots, like opening lockers or garbage disposal areas, similar as the Ustanag did in RE6. This will add to the intensity to this Tyrant, making sure that we don't just carelessly go ramble on the slower zombies in our way, keeping that constant tension looming over us. And lastly, I want to touch on Nemesis' different transformations, because we've seen him in the classic RE3 that he can be released from his trenchcoat limiter and use his tentacles in a variety of attacks, and seeing him in his grotesque final form, where he's relegated to crawling slowly and spitting acid from afar. But maybe in RE3 Remake, we can have Nemesis in his final form similar to what we saw with William's G3 or 4 transformation, where it shows that he's received a lot of damage but would still be formidable, being able to use some type of slash attacks or use his tentacles to catch and grab a hold of our characters, being that powerful BOW that we know him to be. And of course, we can still add that great resiliency that he's had in the classic RE3, where he's able to withstand a couple of railgun shots at close range. So with that in mind, Nemesis in RE3 Remake would be just as resilient and potent. But of course, these are all theories to what we want to see from Nemesis in RE3 Remake, but who's to say they don't implement some of these aspects to this Tyrant? Because as history stands, with a great job they made with Mr. X in RE2 Remake, I'm sure they'll do a great job as well with Nemesis overall. Anyways, what do you guys want to see from Nemesis in Resident Evil 3 Remake? Please let me know in the comment section down below. Also, please don't forget to hit that notification bell icon so you guys can be alerted when I upload my next video. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching my video, and as always, you guys have a great rest of your day, and this is Hey DeVuH, signing out.